More than 40 former senior Israeli military commanders and intelligence officials, business leaders and diplomats are calling for the immediate removal of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In a letter sent to Israeli President Isaac Herzog and Knesset on Thursday, the group argues that Netanyahu poses a clear and present danger to State of Israel as long as he remains in leadership. As significant contributors country's defense to one of world's strongest economies over past decade, we strongly believe that Netanyahu poses an existential ongoing threat Israeli people state. That Israel has leaders who can replace him right away, he says in the letter. NETANYAHU'S rejection of Palestine state in the post-war scenario gained criticism from USA. The coalition accuses Netanyahu's government being full incompetent or corrupt ministers, accuses the prime minister forming a coalition with extremist parties and claims he is undermining democracy in Israel by pushing a series controversial judicial reforms. Moreover, they hold Netanyahu responsible for security failures that they say precipitated and enabled the October 7 attack in which Hamas terrorists slaughtered 1,200 Israelis, most of them civilians. The letter was also sent to U.S. national security officials, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and members of Congress. EU President said that Israel is responsible for the strengthening of Hamas in Gaza. It was financed by the government. This comes as Netanyahu faces a motion of no confidence filed by opposition leaders during the war against Hamas. Critics say Netanyahu served as prime minister for too long, 13 of the last 14 years, and was responsible for appointing officials and developing security plans that failed to prevent the October 7, even before war. Debate over Netanyahu's judicial reform plan led to widespread unrest in Israel over the summer, with tens of thousands of citizens protesting move. Israel's Supreme Court dealt a blow to Netanyahu's judicial reform plans earlier this month, striking down a law banning judges from overturning government decisions the court deemed unreasonable. The letter accuses Netanyahu of inciting political unrest that is exploited by Israel's enemies. Israeli Supreme Court gives judicial loss to Netanyahu when Hamas war is missing EU foreign policy. Chief Josep Borrell echoed these criticisms last week, making clear that Netanyahu's government was financing Hamas to weaken the then-Palestinian Authority. Yes, Hamas was funded by Israeli government in an attempt to weaken the Fatah-led Palestinian Authority, Borrell said in a speech at University of Valladolid. According to the letter, alleges that Netanyahu transferred hundreds of millions of dollars from Qatar to strengthen Hamas military infrastructure in years before the terror group took control Gaza and West Bank. Netanyahu has previously denied such allegations. Former Mossad intelli